right, so let's go next to transactions. This section here, where we want to focus today is on statements. And so Esme has gained a contract with Davin Limited. And Davin needs to have an accountant come in and, every month check up on things, do payroll, and then prepare the statement for submission to SSB. So that's what we're going to look at right now. Right, so now you see two employers listed here. Using the same account, Esme Duncan, I now have access to Davin Limited, as well as Esme Duncan's, which is my self-employed employer. And in the Access As area at the top left, you see an additional entry. Before, we only had Esme Duncan, but now we have Davin Limited. So I could click on Davin to access the portal as Davin Limited. Excuse me, we're going to focus on statements. So let's head right over there to statements. So we're going to, again, to go to view statements. That's where we start. And Davin has recently started operations in this country, in Belize. And so we only have statements for February and for March. So now we are going to complete a statement for April. And this is where we're going to have a look at the various options for completing this statement and adding contributions to the statement. Okay, so I've created the statement just like we did for the self-employed employer, and we see a similar grid. But now we don't have any contributions in here. All right, so we have an empty slate now. So the fastest way to get the statement created is to go to the Actions tab. And here we have two options for creating the statement. Well, it's really three. Upload, which we'll do a little bit later, but the area I want to focus on right now is copy from previous month. So I'll just do the copy function once because it details the same process. But if you click on copy, it allows you to indicate specifically which month you want to copy from. And this is useful because if you're doing this every month, there could be months that are similar in nature where from a payroll standpoint. And so it's just easy to copy from that period. If there are a few edits that you need to make to any of the employees on that statement, do that and then submit. So that's what this copy control allows you to do. Just select a particular month that you want to copy from. In this instance, as we saw before, there are only statements for February 23 and March 23. So those are the only options I have to copy from here. You may be wondering how we treat with differences between a 4-week month and a 5-week month. And this information here details that. If you're going from a 4 to 5-week period, we copy weeks 4 into weeks 5. And if you're going from a 5-week period to a 4-week period, we simply drop weeks 5 values. All right, so I hope that's clear. So I'll close this and I will just go to copy previous month because that's what I want to do. And when you select that button, or if I went to copy and I selected specifically March, it would have the same effect here. You would see the employer name, you'd see these spinners happening there, which means the copy process has been initiated. And based on the number of entries that were in the previous month, it varies on the time it will take for creation. But here you see that the previous month statement has been loaded into the current month that we want to submit for, April 2023. We see we have our payment reference, the employer number, and the employer name. They're all correct. This is the draft statement. And so I want to navigate away from this page just to prove that you could do that. You could load your statement. You could get called off to do something else. You could log out of the portal, and then you could come back to view statements. And you see April is the only draft statement there. I can now continue editing and pick up where I left off. Right, so I've exited and I've come back into the draft statement. let's say after copying from the last period, I know that, for instance, Ricardo got a raise in April, and so I need to ensure that that's reflected on this statement. So I search for Ricardo's entry, I edit Ricardo's row, and for week 1 he made $300. For week 2 he made $500, $800, $800. Kind of erratic salary there, but once you change the values in each of those rows and you click the tick button, which we have this pagination at the bottom here if you don't want to search. This shows the total of the number of employees on the statement and the payment total that will be expected as a result. And at this point, you can submit, but I'm not going to submit at this point because I also want to show that it's quite possible to delete the statement. Because of the flexibility we've allowed for adding and editing statements that are in draft mode. But I'm just describing here that you can go ahead and delete the statement, which I've done. Note, though, that you cannot delete a statement that is in submitted mode. So I cannot delete March's statement, nor can I delete February's statement. If perhaps you made an omission, like you didn't include all of the employees for that particular statement, you can feel free to add a new statement for that period. For instance, I can have multiple statements for March, right? So we do allow that. All right, so let's go back to April and recreate April's statement using a different method. Right, so I've selected April again, and it's now being created for us. And what I'm going to do now is to start with adding an employee. This is useful for, if you copy a statement and you just need to add 1 or 2 additional employees, I think that's useful. Or if you only have a handful of employees that you enter for. And so what this interface allows you to do is enter the SSN, the first name and last name of the employee. The first name here is Ricardo. Okay. Ricardo. And last name, I believe, is Robinson. Great. And this lets you specify if it's monthly or weekly. So I'll go with weekly. So $500 a week. This automatically changes, it's dynamic based on if you are entering a contribution for a 5-week period, a 5-month period, sorry, or a 5-week month or 4-week month, right? Because months have differing week numbers. So this will change accordingly, right? And I'm also going to show here that we have validation happening here. So we validate that the SSN you provide is correct, and it has to match the first and the last name that you've entered in these fields. It absolutely has to match. Okay, so that's important to note. All right, so at this point, I can add this employee because everything here should check out. Great, so there's no more errors, and this employee was added to the statement. That's another way we can add contributions in here. So we've looked at copying, we've looked at adding an employee. That's 1 by 1. So I can add another employee here and repeat the same steps. The best way to add employees in bulk here, apart from copy, would be to upload. And so let's spend a few moments looking at the upload functionality. So for upload, you click the upload, and it brings up this modal, which gives you a utility to choose a file that you want to upload. And so we've sought to make this utility backward compatible, which means that the files you use to in OCP, you should be able to grab that file and enter it in this portal and it would work. I was emphasizing a while ago that the old portal did not do as much of validating, would only validate the first 3 characters of a name. But in this utility, it's going to ensure that all of the information is correct. It has to absolutely match. Let me just show an example of these templates. You see, we show different templates that we accept, and you can click on any of these, just like I've clicked on the sample Excel file, and it's going to describe to you in as detailed as it can be the format in which this portal accepts, right? So we have the SSN, we have the business number, and I'll take a moment here to say that we're moving away from business number and we're going to only have employee numbers. However, your old number on the portal would also work. So your legacy number or your new number will work in any of these fields. Good. So the year is important, the month is important, the week number for which you're submitting is also important for every employee that you have listed. Good. If you have a hire date or termination date, we'll also accept that information, and the record status will be P by default. Of course, the employee's first and last name we need to have you enter accurately. Okay, so this is a quick look at the template. But once you gain access to the portal, you could come here and download any of these templates, view it, and you can customize your system to output in the template that's required. All right, so I'll close this for now. I already have a file that I have prepared for this demonstration. So right now I'm going ahead to choose that file in my downloads. And that's the name of the file. And all I need to do at this point is click upload. Now, on clicking upload, we're going through that validation process. So what it says here is that there are some errors with my rows in here, and I could download the error file and view exactly what the problem is. So I'm going to download this file, which you see here has been downloaded. I'll open the file. 1 second, it's opening on my other screen. Okay, great. And so it's coming over to my screen. And for every error in this file, it's going to tell us exactly what the error is. And for this here, it says contribution period is not the same as the statement period. And that's true because I'm submitting for April, but this says March. Okay, so I could repair that right here in this file. So you have to enable editing. I'm going to say April. And so the month has to be April throughout. And have that say April. And then the weeks also have to match. Good, so this is, so April would start from week 14. The next will be 15. '16 and 17. There are 4 weeks in April. So now I will copy these week numbers all the way down. It's not a huge file, so it shouldn't take us a lot of time. And this is the process of repairing a relatively small file. Okay, great. So I've repaired my file. Oh, where'd you go? I've repaired my file. I'm going to save it. Good, so I've saved it. And now I'm going right back to this upload utility and try my upload again. So I'm going to choose file. This was the error file that I got. I'm going to say open and upload again. Oh boy, so we have more errors. So we see that it's different this time, but we have more errors. So let's quickly investigate what those errors are. So I'm going to download this error file again. And I sought to make this demonstration like real life, because you would expect errors in your file the first time you download it, just because this portal is a little bit different in the way it validates, right? So it's not going to take a lot of time, but here we see a different error this time. And this error relates to, oh, it's a duplicate submission. Who is it duplicated for? Ricardo Robinson. Why is that important? It's important because, let me close this for a moment, because Ricardo Robinson is already on our statement. And so we don't want duplicate employees on our statement. So there are two ways I could fix this. I could delete this row, which I'll go ahead and do. I could delete Ricardo because I know he's already in my upload. And once this refreshes, which it has already, I'm just going to upload it all over again. So I'm going to Actions, Upload. I'll choose my file. This time I'm going to choose the error file that I repaired, right? And that's going to be this one. Yes, the earlier one, 1157, and upload. And this time I'm expecting 0 errors. Oh, perfect. So there's 0 errors this time. And at this point, I can close this dialog. And we could see here that this spinning artifact means the upload process has started. What else indicates that is you see a red dot at the top there. When I clicked on it, it also gives the similar information that the statement upload has started 21 seconds ago. So based on the number of IPs that we have, insured persons or employees that we have in that file, it may range anywhere around, that took us maybe 2 minutes to upload this file. And if you have thousands of employees in your file, like thousands of rows, like up to, I don't know, maybe 10,000, it could take as far as 45 minutes to an hour for the upload to be complete based on all of the validation checks that it has to do, etc. So we allow you to navigate away from this page and come back to this page once it's completed, right? And let me also show that once the upload is complete, let me go back to my inbox here. We also send you an email to indicate that the statement was successful. So you see their employer, the statement for employer number, we state the number, not the name this time, has been processed. You can click here to go back to the portal. So this clicking here will just take me straight back to the portal, which I'm already logged in with, but that just gives you a sense of the experience that you would have. So if you have a huge file, a very big file, you upload it, you can navigate away from this, check your email moments later, an hour later, let's say, you would see the notification confirming that it's complete. You click on that link, it takes you to the portal, you log in, and then you would come to a statement that's in draft mode. Remember, we've uploaded the contributions, but it's still in draft mode. You may have edits that you want to make here, and you can go ahead and do that in the same way I demonstrated before. But once you're complete with those edits, the only thing left to do is to submit the statement. Yeah, but before I submit this statement, over here we have tools allowing you to export your statement. This could be in draft mode or submitted mode. It doesn't matter. These tools will still be here. To Excel, so I could click that. It will download the statement to my PC, and you see it was downloaded here. And I'll open this file. And let's have a quick look at the downloaded statement. Okay, so this is big. Right, so the downloaded version includes all of the information that was in the statement itself. So SSN, the name, first, middle, and last, the month, if there was a department that we didn't store, the earning type, the salary information, the employer portion and the employee portion, the business number, and of course the payment reference, which is for the entire statement. We duplicate it for each row, but we could just show it once. But that's how it is right now. And so this is the downloaded statement. You could keep this for your records. There was 76 rows on this, representing, I believe, 19 IPs. My math could be a little bit off there. Yes, 19 employees. So 19 IPs there. Right, so that's exporting the statement to Excel. And let's have a quick look at printing the statement details. If for any reason you need to print it, this is the format in which we allow you to print. It opens up your default printing interface in your browser, and it loads that information here for you. You would be able to select a printer, like I have PDF here, so it could print this as PDF for my records. It shows when we're printing it. The statement details at the top here. This last part is the payment reference number, and then we show this the IP's information one by one in a different format to Excel. I think it's just more conducive to printing on paper. All right, so I could scroll all the way down, and for sure you have the ability to print back and front on your normal print functions you have available to you in this case. All right, so I'll cancel this, but that was just to quickly show you the extra functionality for exporting and for printing the statement details. Oh, let me also highlight that the schedule that we show here would, of course, be different. Because we now have different IPs for this employer, some IPs may be retired, some fall in different wage brackets, etc. So you can reference this for every employee you have on this list to validate that the monthly totals we derived are correct. Okay, so that's what the view schedule button will allow you to do. And of course, you could look and further examine every IP here to see the calculations for every week, viewing the employee portion and the employer portion, and confirm that it adds up to this total that we display. Okay, so the last thing that we have to do here is to submit the statement, which we do again by clicking there, and we have this statement that we need to read and confirm this declaration, sorry. And once we do that, we check that button. If we don't check it, it won't allow us to go forward. It will say confirmation is required. So once we check that and we submit statement, it will allow us to do just that. And with that, we've completed statement submission for Esme Duncan, contracted by Davin to submit statements on Davin's behalf. And that's what we just saw. Using different upload methods, we copied. We also uploaded from a file, and we saw how we could fix errors in those files and upload the corrected file. And now the payment reference that's on that statement, you can go use to pay online or however you wish to pay the statement. And with that, I'd like to thank you so very much for your attention to the details that the functionality that we had on display today. I hope it was easy to understand. I hope even more that it's easy for you to use once you get your invitations to the portal. And yeah, the team would be ready, willing, and able to assist if necessary. So thank you very much.